having a conversation with somebody, telling them, maybe that you've switched over to maybe a protein powder or some new food because you're finding it's better in terms of its micronutrients. Maybe it's got some more protein or more minerals that you need in your diet. And someone says, yeah, but look, what about the salt content? Or what about the sugar content? And you think to yourself, oh wow, they actually might have a point here. And I'm here to argue, nah, they actually don't. I think in a lot of cases, you could always be the critic. You've heard me say this so many times before, so it's easy to find a fault with something. But the whole point is that sometimes you're losing the grand scheme of things because of something small. Now, salt on its own is not bad. Sugar on its own is not bad. A lot of these things are not bad per se for your health. It's this accumulated effect. It's the accumulated amount in your food. But if you're enjoying a minimally processed diet, you're making sure you're focusing on your protein, your calories in check, some of these auxiliary things are not actually a big deal. You have a little bit more sugar, you have a little bit more salt, it's not going to be an issue because your body's digesting it and using it really quickly. Where it becomes an issue is that if you're not using that energy, then it tends to float around your body for a little bit longer. It tends to create some sort of issue, inflammation, glycation, whatever it might be. So what you want to consider is that the grand scheme, look at the item. If there's more positives than negatives, then you can safely assume that you can have it included inside your diet. But again, sometimes when you think about, yeah, but the sugar content, yeah, but the salt content, yeah, but it doesn't this, yeah, but it doesn't that, you're just looking for something to criticize. And in some cases, it might merit it. Maybe some of these foods have too many of these things and they're not really good for you. But again, if you're having minimally processed foods, the odd time that you add something into your diet that has a little bit more of the nutrient or micronutrient or macronutrient that you need, it might be okay just to kind of forget the fact that it has a little bit extra salt, a little bit extra sugar. Again, assuming that everything else is in check. That might be an issue if everything else is out of balance, but in the end, you're missing the point if you're focusing on this one little thing. It's never going to be perfect. Don't expect it to be so. But again, if you're having minimally processed foods, if you're focusing on a calorie deficit if needed, if you're focusing on getting protein and fiber, you're going to be okay. And you don't really have to worry. Sometimes these things have a little bit extra sugar, a little bit extra salt, because those things on their own are not really an issue unless, again, as we've said so many times, the things are out of balance.